Captain Junho Kim stood on the bridge of the Odyssey, watching the stars through the massive viewing window. His colony ship had been traveling for 3 years, carrying 2,000 sleeping colonists toward a new world. Everything was peaceful. Everything was normal. Then the alarms started screaming. "Captain, we have an unknown contact," said the navigation officer. Her voice was shaking. "It's huge. Much bigger than us." Junho moved to the sensor station. The screen showed something impossible. A vessel 50 times larger than the Odyssey was approaching fast. Its energy signature was beyond anything humans had ever built. This was it. First contact with alien life. He had dreamed of this moment since childhood. Now that it was here, fear ran cold through his body. "Open all communication channels," Junho ordered. "Broadcast our peaceful intentions in every language we have," the alien ship responded. But not with words. Blue beams of energy struck the Odyssey's engines. Systems failed across the ship. The lights flickered. Emergency power kicked in, bathing everything in red light. They were dead in space, helpless. "All security personnel to defensive positions," Lieutenant Hana Cho's voice came through the speakers. She sounded calm, professional. Junho knew her well enough to hear the anger underneath. Metal pods attached to the Odyssey's hull with heavy thuds. Cutting torches burned through the thick armor like it was paper. The aliens were coming inside. Junho pulled out his sidearm. It felt small and useless in his hand. The first alien stepped through the breach. Junho stared. It was 8 feet tall, covered in a dark exoskeleton that looked like armor and insect shell combined. 4 arms, each ending in sharp claws. Its head was narrow with too many eyes. Beautiful and terrifying at the same time. "Fire warning shots," Hana's voice shouted. Gunfire echoed through the corridors. The bullets hit the alien's armor and bounced off like raindrops. More aliens poured through. They carried strange devices that made no sound but dropped humans to the floor, paralyzed and helpless. Junho tried to run, but the sonic weapon hit him. His muscles locked. He fell hard, unable to move anything except his eyes. An alien stood over him. It made clicking sounds. A mechanical voice translated. "Specimen collected. Category: Pre-sapient mammal. Begin transport. Pre-sapient mammal?" Rage burned in Junho's chest, but his body would not obey him. The alien picked him up with 2 of its arms like he weighed nothing. He was carried through corridors filled with his frozen crew members. Everyone was being taken. They brought him to a large room. The aliens called it a habitat. To Junho, it looked like a zoo enclosure. Clear walls surrounded an open space with human furniture. The aliens had studied the Odyssey's layout and recreated a section of it. They were making a display, a human exhibit. The paralysis wore off after an hour. Junho could move again. Around him, other crew members were waking up. He saw Hana, her face twisted with anger. Dr. Yuna Park was helping injured crew members even though she could barely stand. Engineer Minho Lee was checking the walls, looking for weaknesses. Sergeant Daehyun Kang gathered his Marines together with hand signals. An alien appeared outside the clear wall. This one wore different markings. Junho guessed it was important. The alien made sounds, and the translator spoke. "I am High Curator Velnash. You have been selected for study. Your species shows interesting characteristics. Limited tool use. Basic social structure. You will be cataloged and distributed to research facilities. We are intelligent beings," Yuna shouted. She pressed her hands against the wall. "We have language, culture, science. We built this ship. We crossed the stars." The alien's head tilted. The translator said, "Fascinating vocal patterns. Possibly distress calls. The specimens show strong emotional responses. Note for further study." The alien walked away. They did not see humans as people. They saw animals. Smart animals maybe like dolphins or apes, but not equals. Not beings with rights. The truth settled over the crew like ice water. "Everyone stay calm," Junho said quietly. "Act confused. Act scared. But watch everything. Learn everything." "They made a mistake." "What mistake?" Minho asked. "They think we are stupid," Junho said. "They are not guarding us carefully. They left systems active because they do not think we can use them. They underestimate us." Understanding spread through the group. Hana's angry expression changed to something colder.
"More dangerous."
"We pretend to be the animals they think we are. While we plan." For 6 days, the humans played their role perfectly. They acted confused when aliens observed them. They made simple gestures and basic sounds. They appeared to be frightened, primitive creatures, but in the hours when the aliens were gone, they worked. Minho accessed the Odyssey's systems through a hidden panel. The aliens had not locked them out. Why would they? Animals cannot hack computer systems. He mapped the alien station, found guard rotations, identified power sources. Dae-hyun watched the guards. He memorized their patterns, counted their numbers, studied their armor. He found weak points at the joints. He showed his Marines how to kill efficiently and silently. Yuna studied the aliens' biology through the clear walls. She identified their eyes' position, their breathing patterns, their movement limitations. Every observation was a potential weakness. Hana gathered every piece of metal, every sharp object, every potential weapon. She taught crew members basic combat moves using hand signals and quiet demonstrations during the night cycles. Junho coordinated everything. He used written messages that were immediately destroyed. He made sure everyone knew their role, and he waited for the right moment. On the 7th day, High Curator Velnash returned. Today we begin permanent separation. Specimens will be distributed to multiple facilities. Breeding pairs will be selected. The rest will undergo detailed study. The aliens were going to separate them, send them to different zoos across their empire, break up families, treat them like livestock. Junho caught Hana's eye. She nodded once. The containment field dropped. The aliens expected the humans to walk out slowly, confused and docile. Instead, hell broke loose. Dae-hyun's Marines moved first. They hit the nearest guards with improvised weapons, striking at the joints Dae-hyun had identified. The aliens' armor cracked. Green blood sprayed. The guards went down, surprised and dying. Minho triggered the system's failure he had prepared. Lights died across entire sections. Emergency alarms screamed. The aliens' communication network crashed. Hana led a team toward the Odyssey's docking bay. They moved fast and silent through dark corridors. When aliens appeared, the humans struck from shadows. Quick, brutal, efficient. Every kill was textbook military precision. High Curator Velnash watched through security feeds. His clicking sounds became frantic. These were not animals. Animals do not coordinate attacks. Animals do not use tactics. Animals do not set traps. The humans retook the Odyssey in 40 minutes. They sealed the airlocks behind them. Minho restarted the damaged engines. The ship shuddered and pulled away from the alien station. In the alien archives, observer Nimra watched recordings of the escape. She reviewed every moment. The careful planning, the patient waiting, the explosive violence. She updated the human classification file with shaking appendages. Previous classification incorrect, she recorded. Humans are not presapient. They are fully intelligent, highly dangerous. Classification updated. Apex predators with advanced cognitive abilities. Approach with extreme caution. They were never specimens. They were prisoners, and they were waiting. The Odyssey limped into deep space, engines smoking but running. Behind them, the alien station burned in several sections. 23 humans had died, but the rest were free. And now the aliens knew the truth. Humans were not animals to be studied. They were survivors. They were soldiers. They were dangerous. 3 weeks had passed since the escape. The Odyssey drifted through an asteroid field, hiding among the rocks. Engineer Minho Lee worked without sleep, his hands covered in grease and burns. Every system on the ship was damaged. He was keeping them alive with spare parts and hope. "Captain, we have a problem," Minho said. His voice was tired. "The main drive is failing. We can run for maybe another week. Then we are dead in space." Junho looked at the sensor displays. He knew what was coming. The Talviri would not let them escape. An empire that had ruled space for thousands of years could not allow primitive humans to humiliate them. They would hunt the Odyssey down and destroy it. "How long until they find us?" Junho asked. 48 hours, said the sensor operator. "I am detecting multiple ships. They are searching the asteroid field sector by sector. They will reach us soon." In the medical bay, Dr. Yuna Park worked on the wounded. 20 people had serious injuries. 3 were dying. She had limited supplies and no real hospital. Every day she performed miracles just to keep people breathing. "We need to fight," Lieutenant Hanacho said. She stood in the command center with her arm in a sling. During the escape, she had broken at killing an alien guard. She refused painkillers. She wanted to stay sharp. Fight with what? Someone asked. "They have warships, energy weapons, shields. We have a broken colony ship with mining equipment." "Then we use what we have," Sergeant Dae-hyun Kang said. He pointed at the asteroid field on the display. This is not open space. This is terrain. We know how to fight on terrain. The aliens do not, Junho understood. Humans had fought in jungles, mountains, cities, deserts, always adapting, always using the environment. The asteroid field was just another battlefield, and humans were very good at asymmetric warfare. Minho, can you weaponize our mining charges? Junho asked. The engineer's tired face showed a smile. Yes, we can make mines. Plant them on asteroids. When the aliens pass by, boom, do it. Hana, wake up all the colonists. Anyone who can hold a weapon gets basic training. Daehyun, prepare boarding teams. If we damage their ships, we take what we need from them. For 2 days they prepared. Minho and his engineers attached explosive charges to dozens of asteroids. Daehyun trained civilians in basic combat. Hana organized teams to board enemy vessels. Yuna prepared for mass casualties. Everyone knew many would die. But they would not go quietly into death. The Talviri fleet arrived exactly on schedule. Warmaster Krelvor commanded 6 warships. He was a professional soldier, experienced and careful, but he still thought humans were primitive. Dangerous animals, yes, but animals. Begin methodical search, Krelvor ordered. Destroy the human vessel when located. Take no prisoners. High Command wants this incident ended. The first Talviri destroyer moved between 2 large asteroids. Its powerful scanners searched for the Odyssey's energy signature. The crew did not notice the small charges attached to both asteroids. They did not see the trap until it was too late. Minho pressed the detonator. Both asteroids exploded, sending massive chunks of rock at incredible speed. The destroyer's shields were designed for energy weapons, not kinetic impacts. Tons of stone smashed through the shields and tore into the hull. The ship broke apart in seconds. First blood, Hana said with satisfaction. Krelvor watched his destroyer die. Shock ran through him. How did primitives know about kinetic warfare? The Talviri had not used such crude tactics in thousands of years. Their shields were optimized for energy weapons because that is what civilized species used. All ships, maximum shields, evasive patterns, Krelvor ordered. Do not assume anything. These creatures are more dangerous than we thought. The Odyssey emerged from hiding behind a large asteroid. Minho had built something during the repair work. A railgun using salvaged ship components. It was crude, inefficient, and used massive amounts of power, but it could accelerate debris to a fraction of light speed. The railgun fired. A piece of scrap metal, no bigger than a fist, hit a Talviri cruiser. At near light speed, it punched through the shields like they were paper. It went through the ship from front to back, destroying everything in its path. The cruiser went dark and began drifting. That is 2, Junho said. Now we run. Lead them deeper into the field. The Odyssey vanished into the asteroids. The Talviri fleet followed, angry and cautious. Krelvor wanted revenge, but he was beginning to understand. This was not a hunt. This was a battle. And the humans were winning. For hours, the deadly game continued. The Odyssey appeared, fired, and disappeared. Minho used every trick he knew. He bounced signals off asteroids to confuse sensors. He vented radiation to mask their heat signature. He made the Talviri see ghosts everywhere. Daehyun's Marines boarded the drifting cruiser. The Talviri crew had not expected boarders. They certainly had not expected humans who fought like demons. The Marines moved through the ship, room by room, brutal and efficient. They took weapons, supplies, and most importantly, technical data. Hana led the assault personally. Her broken arm did not slow her down. She killed 3 Talviri soldiers in close combat, proving humans were stronger when fighting up close. The aliens had never faced such aggressive physical combat. They panicked. Retreat! Retreat! The Talviri soldiers clicked and screamed. The mammals are insane! The Marines escaped with their loot before the cruiser exploded. Minho immediately began studying the captured technology. Within hours, he had cracked their basic communication codes. He could hear everything the Talviri fleet said to each other. Captain, you need to hear this, Minho said. He played the intercepted communication. Krelvor was talking to his ships. Humans have learned our language. They understand our tactics. How is this possible? They had no time to study our systems. Junho smiled. It was time to send a message. He had Minho open a channel on all Talviri frequencies. Then he spoke in perfect Talviri language, using the codes they had cracked. Warmaster Krelvor, this is Captain Junho Kim of the human vessel Odyssey. You called us animals. You called us pre-sapient. You cataloged us like insects. But we are human. We learn, we adapt, we survive. And we remember everything you did to us." Silence filled the communication channel. Every Talviri in the fleet heard those words, heard the humans speaking their language flawlessly, realized these primitives had decrypted their codes, learned their language, and studied their tactics in just 3 weeks. "We do not want to kill you," Junho continued, "but we will if you force us. Leave us alone. Tell your empire that humans are not specimens. We are people. And we are dangerous." Krelvor made a decision. He had lost 2 ships and hundreds of soldiers. The humans had superior tactical position and were fighting like cornered predators. His remaining ships were damaged and his crews were frightened. Pride said to continue. Wisdom said to retreat and report what he had learned. "All ships withdraw," Krelvor ordered. "Maintain defensive formation." We returned to base, but Daehyun had one more surprise. During the boarding action, his team had planted explosives throughout the flagship. Not enough to destroy it, just enough to cripple it and send a final message. As the Talviri fleet began to retreat, the flagship's engines exploded. The ship spun out of control, crashing into 2 escort vessels. Chaos erupted. Ships scattered in all directions, desperately trying to avoid collisions. In the confusion, the Odyssey slipped away into deep space. They had won. Against impossible odds with a damaged ship and improvised weapons, humans had defeated an advanced alien fleet. On the bridge, exhausted crew members cheered. Hana allowed herself a small smile. Daehyun raised his cup in salute. Even Yuna, tired from treating the wounded, felt hope. But Junho did not celebrate. He looked at the casualty list. 23 dead in the escape, 14 more in this battle. Every name was someone he knew, someone who trusted him to keep them safe. The victory tasted like ashes. "What do we do now, Captain?" Minho asked. "We find a place to hide and repair," Junho said. "We send a message to Earth and we prepare for what comes next. Because they will come. The Talviri cannot let us live after this." In the Talviri capital, War Master Krelvor delivered his report to the High Command. He told them everything. The tactical genius, the brutal efficiency, the rapid adaptation. He concluded with words that would change galactic history. "The humans are not animals. They are apex predators with intelligence equal or superior to our own. We made a catastrophic error in judgment, and now they know we exist. Now they know we are afraid. We must decide quickly, make peace or prepare for total war, because humans do not forgive, and they never forget." 2 months after the battle, the Talviri Council met in their capital city. The massive chamber held representatives from every caste, scholars, warriors, workers, and curators. They were here to discuss the human problem. Observer Nimra stood before them, ready to present her findings. She was nervous. What she had discovered would shake their civilization to its core. For thousands of years, the Talviri had been alone at the top. They were the most advanced, most intelligent species in known space, until now. "Begin your report," the council leader said. Nimra activated the display. It showed recordings from the Odyssey's capture, the escape, and the battle. Every council member watched in silence. When the footage ended, she began speaking. "Humans possess complex language, mathematical understanding, tool creation ability that matches our own. They have art, music, literature, and philosophy. They built spacecraft using principles we consider advanced. In every measure of intelligence, they are equal to us." The council chamber erupted in clicking sounds of disbelief. One curator stood up. "Impossible. We tested them. They showed animal behavior. Simple emotional responses." "They were pretending," Nimra said. "They understood immediately that we saw them as animals. So they acted like animals, while learning everything about us. Their tactical coordination during the escape was not instinct. It was military training. They planned for 6 days while appearing confused." She showed more data, human brain scans, language analysis, mathematical proofs from their computer systems. Every piece of evidence pointed to one conclusion. Humans were not just intelligent. They were dangerously intelligent. "But they fight like animals," a warrior said. "Brutal, aggressive, no honor. They fight to win," War Master Krelvor said. He had been invited to testify. "Every tactic they used was calculated. They exploited every one of our weaknesses. They adapted faster than I thought possible. In 3 weeks, they learned our language, cracked our codes, and developed countermeasures for our technology. That is not animal behavior. That is genius." The council fell into argument. Some wanted to exterminate humans before they became a bigger threat. Others suggested containment, building massive defenses around human space. Very few suggested making peace. We must destroy them now while they are weak, one warrior shouted. They have one damaged ship. We have thousands. Send a fleet and end this. And what happens when their homeworld learns what we did? Nimra asked. I accessed the Odyssey's data archives. Earth has 8 billion humans. They have nuclear weapons, biological weapons, chemical weapons. They have been fighting wars among themselves for their entire history. They know more about warfare than any species we have encountered. She showed them images from human history, world wars that killed millions, atomic bombs that destroyed entire cities. Humans had nearly made themselves extinct multiple times, and they kept surviving, kept advancing, kept getting more dangerous. They are monsters, someone whispered. They are survivors. Nimra corrected. Yes, they have capacity for great violence. But look at this. She showed different images. Human art, music, medicine, philosophy, acts of kindness and sacrifice. They also have great capacity for cooperation, creativity, and compassion. They are complex. Like us. The argument continued for hours. Finally, the council leader made a decision. We will send a diplomatic mission. Offer peace. If they refuse, we will prepare for war, but we will try peace first. Nimra volunteered to lead the mission. Most thought she was crazy, going to face the humans after everything that happened, but she had studied them. She understood something others did not. Humans valued courage. If she went to them unarmed, showing bravery, they might listen. The Odyssey had found refuge in an abandoned mining colony. The humans had spent 2 months repairing, fortifying, and preparing for the next attack. They had sent messages toward Earth, but it would take years for help to arrive. They were alone and vulnerable. When the Talviri diplomatic ship approached, every human weapon locked onto it. Junho stood on the makeshift command center, watching the display with suspicion. They could have a bomb, Hana said. She had her hand on the firing control. Wait, Junho said. They are broadcasting. Let me hear it. Nimra's voice came through, speaking in human English. Captain Junho Kim, I am Observer Nimra of the Talviri. I come unarmed, alone, seeking to speak with you. We made a terrible mistake. We wronged you and your people. I wish to discuss peace. It is a trick, Daehyun said. Maybe, Junho said. Or maybe they finally understand we are not animals. Hana, keep weapons ready, but let her approach. An hour later, Nimra stood in a human room, facing Junho. She had never been so close to a human before. They were smaller than Talviri, but their eyes held intelligence and pain. And anger. So much anger. You treated us like animals, Junho said quietly. You imprisoned us. Planned to separate families. Send us to zoos. 37 of my people are dead because of your mistake. I know, Nimra said. I cannot undo what was done, but I can offer truth. The Talviri Council now recognizes humans as intelligent beings. We wish to make peace, to provide compensation, to ensure this never happens again. Why should we trust you? Hana asked. She stood behind Junho, weapon visible. Because we are afraid, Nimra said honestly. You defeated our fleet with one damaged ship. You adapted to technology thousands of years ahead of yours in weeks. You fought like nothing we have ever encountered. If we go to war, many will die on both sides. We do not want that. Do you? Junho was silent for a long time. Part of him wanted revenge, wanted to make the Talviri pay for every human life lost. But he also knew the cost of war. More death, more suffering. And for what? Tell your council this, Junho said. We will consider peace, but only under these conditions. You acknowledge humans as equals. You provide resources to repair our ship and establish our colony. You give us access to your technology, and you never ever treat any species as specimens again. Those are reasonable terms, Nimra said. I am not finished, Junho said. His voice became harder. If you attack us again, you will regret it. Engineer Minho, show her. Minho activated a display. It showed Talviri stations, ships, and colonies. Every major installation in their nearby territory, marked with red dots. During our raids, we planted devices, Minho explained. Bombs hidden in your infrastructure. If we are attacked, if anything happens to us, those devices activate. You lose everything in this sector. Nimra felt fear run through her body. It was a bluff. It had to be, except humans had already done the impossible multiple times. They had boarded her ships, accessed their systems, and vanished like ghosts. Maybe it was not a bluff. You would destroy innocent civilians? Nimra asked. You were going to put our civilians in zoos, Hana said coldly. Do not talk to us about morality. It is called mutually assured destruction, Junho said. An old human concept. If you can destroy us but we can destroy you too, then neither side attacks. We live in peace because war is too costly. Nimra understood. These humans had turned the entire situation around. They went from prisoners to threats to equals. All in 2 months. They had forced the Talviri to negotiate from a position of fear. It was brilliant and terrifying. I will take your terms to the council, Nimra said. I believe they will agree. We do not wish to test whether your bombs are real. After Nimra left, Yuna approached Junho. The bombs are real, are they not? Junho nodded. Daehyun's teams placed them during our raids. We did not want to use them, but we needed insurance. We prepared to commit terrorism to survive, Yuna said quietly. What does that make us? Human, Junho said. We do what we must to protect our own. That has always been our way, for better or worse. 3 weeks later, the Talviri Council agreed to all human demands. A treaty was drafted. Resources were provided. The colony began to grow. Other alien species heard about the humans who defeated the mighty Talviri. Some were curious. Most were cautious. All remembered the lesson. In her private archive, Nimra wrote a final entry about humans. They are not monsters. They are not saints. They are survivors who became warriors when threatened. They value their own above all else. They adapt faster than should be possible. They never forgive wrongs done to them. They are dangerous allies and terrifying enemies. But given respect and fair treatment, they can be reasoned with. The galaxy must learn this lesson. Never treat humans as less than equals. They will prove you wrong, and they will make you regret it. 8 months had passed since the treaty was signed. The mining colony had transformed into a real settlement. Human and Talviri workers moved through the streets together. Not friends, not yet, but not enemies either. The peace was fragile, like glass that could shatter at any moment. Junho walked through the market district. Human merchants sold earth goods next to Talviri technology vendors. Children played in the streets, both human and, surprisingly, young Talviri workers learning about their new neighbors. It was strange and wonderful and terrifying all at once. Yuna had opened a medical clinic that treated both species. She was learning Talviri biology while teaching them about human medicine. Some breakthroughs came from combining their knowledge. Other patients still refused treatment from the other species. Trust took time. Minho worked in a joint technology center with Talviri engineers. They were trying to upgrade the Odyssey with alien technology, while the aliens learned human improvisation techniques. The cultural clash caused daily arguments, but slowly, understanding grew. Not everyone was happy with the peace. Some humans could not forget being treated as animals. Some Talviri still saw humans as dangerous primitives. Tensions simmered beneath the surface, waiting for an excuse to explode. That excuse came on a normal morning. A human trade delegation was visiting a Talviri facility to discuss technology exchange. The group included 3 families with young children, showing the aliens that humans trusted them enough to bring their most precious. The explosion happened without warning. Fire and shrapnel tore through the delegation. 5 humans died instantly, including 2 children. Hana, who was leading the security detail, was thrown against a wall. Her left arm was destroyed, hanging by threads of flesh and bone. Daehyun's Marines responded within seconds. They secured the area, searching for attackers. They found no one. The bomb had been planted earlier, remotely triggered. Professional work. In the emergency medical facility, Yuna worked to save Hana's life. The arm could not be saved. She amputated it quickly, efficiently, while tears ran down her face. Hana stayed conscious through it all, refusing painkillers, watching with hard eyes. Who did this? Hana asked through gritted teeth. We do not know yet, Junho said. He stood beside her, his face a mask of controlled rage. But we will find out. The colony erupted in anger. Humans demanded revenge. Marines prepared for unauthorized strikes against Talviri targets. The peace they had built so carefully was crumbling. War seemed inevitable. Then Nimra arrived at the human settlement. She came alone, unarmed, just like before. But this time she looked afraid. She should be. Daehyun's Marines wanted to kill her on sight. Only Junho's direct order stopped them. We know who did this, Nimra said immediately.
Extremists.
Followers of the former High Curator Vel Nash. They want to restart the war. They planted the bomb. We have evidence, then give them to us, Daehyun said. His voice was cold and deadly. We will handle justice. They are in hiding, Nimra said. On a remote station. Heavily defended. The council wants to send a military force to capture them. No, Junho said. Everyone turned to look at him. We go together. Humans and Talaviri. Joint operation. We show everyone that we stand united against terrorism. The idea was radical. Humans and Talaviri had never worked together in combat. Many thought it was impossible. Daehyun's Marines hated the aliens. The Talaviri military did not trust human methods. But Junho insisted. If they could not work together now, the peace would die. Training began immediately. Human Marines practiced with Talaviri soldiers. The cultural differences were enormous. Humans fought aggressive and flexible. Talaviri preferred structured and tactical. Arguments broke out constantly. But slowly, very slowly, they learned from each other. Hana refused to stay behind. Yuna fitted her with a temporary prosthetic, a crude mechanical arm. It was not as good as the advanced one that Talaviri had offered. Hana wanted to earn that one. Wanted to prove she could still fight. 2 weeks later, the Joint Strike Team approached the extremist station. 20 humans and 20 Talaviri working together for the first time. The station was a fortress built inside a hollow asteroid, defended by automated weapons and loyal followers. Human team, you take the left approach, the Talaviri commander said. His name was Torvik, a professional soldier who had fought in the asteroid battle. He remembered human tactics. He respected them even if he did not like them. Talaviri team handles the right, Daehyun agreed. We meet in the middle. No heroics. We do this smart. The assault began. Human Marines moved through the dark corridors using stealth and speed. Talaviri soldiers advanced with shields and heavy weapons. The extremists had prepared for one or the other. They had not prepared for both. An ambush hit the Talaviri team. Automated turrets opened fire, pinning them down. Torvik called for help. Daehyun's Marines responded immediately, flanking the turrets and destroying them with precise explosives. They saved the Talaviri team without hesitation. Later, when human Marines breached a sealed door and found themselves facing 20 armed extremists, the Talaviri team arrived from behind the enemy. They hit the extremist with energy weapons, saving the humans from certain death. They fought deeper into the station, covering each other, learning to trust each other under fire. When a human soldier was wounded, a Talaviri medic treated him without question. When a Talaviri warrior fell, human Marines carried him to safety. Hana led the final assault on the command center. Her mechanical arm was clumsy, but her determination was fierce. She found the extremist leader, a former aide to Vel Nash, preparing to detonate bombs throughout the station. You should kill me, the extremist said. That is what animals do. That is what you are. Hana's mechanical hand crushed the detonator. Her other hand aimed her weapon at the extremist's head. For a long moment she wanted to pull the trigger, wanted revenge for her arm, for the dead children, for everything. No, Hana said finally. She lowered her weapon. Animals kill when threatened. Intelligent beings have justice. You will face trial. You will answer for what you did. That is the difference between us. The extremists were captured. The bombs were disabled. The joint team returned to the colony as heroes. Both human and Talaviri crowds cheered their arrival. Something had changed. Something fundamental. That evening, Torvik and Daehyun shared a meal together. It was awkward. They had to use special dishes designed for both species. But they talked about the mission, about tactics, about losses they had suffered. They were warriors. That language they both understood. You saved my team, Torvik said. I did not expect that. We were on the same side, Daehyun said simply. That is what soldiers do. Yuna performed surgery on a Talaviri soldier using techniques from both species. She saved his life when their own doctors said it was impossible. The soldier's family came to thank her. They brought gifts. They called her healer. It was the first time Talaviri had used a title of respect for a human. The Talaviri Council sent Hana an advanced prosthetic arm as thanks for capturing the extremists alive. It was better than her original arm, stronger and more precise. When she put it on, she felt the weight of what it represented. Not just technology. Trust.news of the joint operation spread across the galaxy. Other alien species watched with interest. The humans and Talaviri, who had been at war months ago, now fought together. It changed calculations, changed politics, changed everything. A message arrived from Earth. The rescue fleet was coming, estimated arrival in 12 months. But they were no longer coming to rescue refugees. They were coming to join a colony that had proven humans could survive anywhere, against any odds. Junho stood in his office late at night, reading reports. The casualty list had grown. 37 dead in the initial capture, 14 in the asteroid battle, 5 in the terrorist attack, 3 in the joint operation, 59 names total, 59 people who trusted him. But 2,000 colonists were safe. The treaty was stronger. Humans had a place in the galaxy. It was not enough to balance the scales. It would never be enough. But it was something. Nimra visited him that evening. "I am writing a comprehensive study of humans," she said, "for all species to read, so this never happens again. So everyone understands what you are." Junho nodded. "What will you tell them?" Nimra was quiet for a moment. "That humans are dangerous when threatened, but honorable when respected. That you remember wrongs done to you but also kindness shown to you. That underestimating you is the greatest mistake anyone can make. And that you deserve to be treated as equals, because that is what you are." 2 years after first contact, the Earth fleet arrived. 50 warships emerged from faster-than-light travel at the edge of the system. They were massive, powerful, and ready for war. Admiral Sung-min Park commanded them. He had been Junho's teacher at the military academy a lifetime ago. The colony detected them immediately. So did the Talviri defense fleet stationed nearby. For 2 days, both forces faced each other with weapons ready. One wrong move would start a war that would devastate the sector. Junho broadcast constantly, explaining the situation. But the messages took hours to reach the Earth fleet. In that time, anything could happen. The tension was unbearable. "If they fire, we must respond," Torvik said. He commanded the Talviri defense fleet now, promoted after the joint operation. "My orders are clear. If you fire, Earth will never stop coming," Hana said. She stood in the command center, her prosthetic arm showing clearly. "There are 8 billion humans. They will burn your empire to ashes. And we will take millions of you with us," Torvik said. Not as a threat, just as fact. They had become friends in their way. But they were also soldiers who would do their duty. Nimra volunteered to go to the Earth fleet. Just like before, alone and unarmed. Junho tried to stop her. "They do not know you. They only know what the Talviri did to us. They might kill you." "Then I die," Nimra said simply. "But maybe my death prevents war. That is worth it." She went. A small shuttle approached the massive Earth flagship. Admiral Sung-min watched it come with cold eyes. He had read the reports, knew what happened to the Odyssey. He wanted revenge, wanted to make the aliens pay, but he also trusted Junho. If his former student said peace was possible, he would listen. First, Nimra stood in the human flagship, surrounded by armed Marines. She had never seen so many humans in one place. They were smaller than Talviri, but something about them was intimidating. Maybe it was their eyes. They looked at her like predators studying prey. "You imprisoned our people," Admiral Sungmin said. His voice was hard. "Treated them like animals. Killed them when they resisted." "Yes," Nimra said. "All of that is true. It was wrong. We have apologized, paid compensation, changed our laws. But I cannot undo the past. I can only work for a better future." "Why should we not destroy your empire right now?" Sungmin asked. "We have the power. We have the reason. Give me one good argument for peace." "Because Captain Kim asked you to listen," Nimra said. "Because war will cost lives on both sides. Because we are trying to be better, but mostly because humans value honor, and there is no honor in killing someone who came alone and unarmed to seek peace." Sungmin was silent for a long time. Then he nodded slowly. "You're right about one thing. There is no honor in killing an envoy. You will live, for now. But the peace depends on what happens at the summit." The summit was held on a neutral station, built specifically for this purpose. Leaders from Earth and the Talviri Council met face-to-face for the first time. The tension was thick enough to cut with a knife. Junho presented his report to both sides. He told everything. The capture, the escape, the battles, the treaty. He showed the casualty lists, the evidence of Talviri crimes, but also the proof of their attempts to make peace. "They made a mistake," Junho said. "A terrible, inexcusable mistake. But they acknowledged it. They changed. They have worked with us in good faith for 2 years. We can either continue that path or we can burn the galaxy in revenge. I know what I choose. Yuna spoke about the medical advances achieved through cooperation. Minho talked about technology sharing that benefited both species. Daehyun surprisingly spoke about the Talviri soldiers he had fought beside. They are warriors, he said. That I respect. Hana showed her prosthetic arm. They took my arm. Then they gave me a better one. That is not redemption. Nothing can redeem what they did. But it is a start. The Earth government debated for 3 days. Some wanted war. Others wanted isolation. A few, influenced by the Odyssey crew's testimony, wanted alliance. Finally, the president made a decision. We will pursue peace, she announced, but with conditions: full diplomatic recognition, technology exchange, protection for all human settlements, and most importantly, the Talviri must help us ensure no other species is ever treated as they treated us. We will build a coalition, a council of equals, where all intelligent life has voice and rights. The Talviri Council agreed. The formal alliance was signed with representatives from both species. Other alien civilizations sent observers. They had heard the stories about humans. Now they saw the reality. Humans were dangerous, yes, but they were also capable of forgiveness, of building instead of destroying. The galaxy was changing. Humans became a major power almost overnight. Their military tactics were studied in every academy. Their diplomatic approach, combining firmness with willingness to negotiate, became a model. Their technology, when combined with Talviri advancements, produced innovations neither species could achieve alone. 10 years later, Junho stood in the memorial park. It was built on the site of the original colony, now a thriving city. The memorial listed every name, every human who died, every Talviri who fell in the battles. Equal remembrance for all. The inscription read, "From misunderstanding came war. From war came understanding. From understanding came peace. May we never forget the cost." Junho was old now, retired from active duty. He served as Earth's ambassador to the Galactic Council. Hana commanded a joint human Talviri fleet, one of the most powerful forces in known space. Yuna ran the Interspecies Medical Academy, training doctors from a dozen worlds. Minho headed the Technology Integration Division, where human and alien engineers worked together on projects that pushed the boundaries of science. Daehyun retired to teach at the Joint Military Academy, training the next generation of soldiers in both species tactics. Nimra became the leading expert on human studies. Her comprehensive analysis of human psychology, culture, and capabilities was required reading for every species joining the Galactic Council. She warned them, understand humans, respect humans, and never ever underestimate humans. The former Odyssey crew gathered every year at the memorial. Fewer came each time as age and distance took their toll, but they always remembered, always honored those who did not survive. On the 10th anniversary, Junho gave a speech to a crowd of thousands. Humans and aliens filled the park, representing dozens of species. The Galactic Council had grown. The coalition Earth demanded had become reality. We started as prisoners, Junho said, specimens in a cage. We became warriors, then refugees, then negotiators. Now we are partners in building something greater than any one species could achieve alone. He looked at the crowd. Young humans who had been born after the incident, Talviri who had never known the old ways, representatives from species who had joined the council seeking the security and cooperation it offered. The Talviri learned we are not animals, Junho continued. We learned they are not monsters. Both lessons were necessary. Both came at terrible cost. We must never forget that cost. Must never let it happen again to any species. After the speech, Torvik approached him. The Talviri warrior was old too, his exoskeleton showing signs of age, but his eyes were still sharp. You did well, old friend. We all did, Junho said. Humans and Talviri together. That is what saved us. Nimra joined them, her movement slower now but still graceful. I am finishing my final book. About the legacy of First Contact. What should I say about humans? Junho thought for a long moment. Then he smiled. Tell them we are dangerous when threatened, deadly when cornered, but given respect and fair treatment, we are the most loyal allies they will ever have. Tell them humans remember both wrongs and kindness, and we repay both in full measure. That is good, Nimra said, but incomplete. You are more than warriors. Yes, Junho agreed. We are explorers, scientists, artists, dreamers. We crossed the stars seeking a better future. We fought when we had to, but we never stopped reaching for something greater. That is what makes us human. The sun set over the memorial park. Humans and aliens mingled together, sharing stories and food. Children of both species played together, not seeing differences, just seeing friends. It was not perfect. There were still tensions, still misunderstandings, still occasional conflicts. But it was peace. Hard-won, carefully maintained, precious peace, and it held. Across the galaxy, in academies and council chambers and military bases, the story of the Odyssey was told and retold. How humans went from specimens to equals, how the Talviri learned to see beyond their assumptions, how two species that should have been enemies became the foundation of galactic cooperation. The lesson was simple and profound. Never judge a species by first impressions. Never assume intelligence takes only one form. Never treat any being as less than equal. And most importantly, never underestimate the cunning, adaptability, and determination of humans. They might look like just another species, but they are survivors. They are warriors. They are builders. They are human. And that makes all the difference.